Hello, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here, you guys, and happy Valentine's Day. All right, Gemini, so what I get from looking at this is it's not that you're intentionally making a mistake. I think you're on the verge of doing this, and it's like your instincts are trying to kick in to warn you, and you needing to pay attention to that. So from like Vampire, you pulled transgression, flaws, contradictions, and mistake. And then again, from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled instinct. Now, transgression is saying to make amends, to reassess, to take stock here and redirect yourself. But I think that it's your instincts that are kicking in here and like warning you that you may make a mistake. Now, the card at a glance says, to step into the light, we let go of all senses other than our pure instinct. When unfiltered, it guides us to the high ground and to the help of our angels. This is a time to be the protector or to be protected. You will know which role you are in, and I think right now you're being protected. Here is your overall for the week. The Nine of Swords. Now, for some of you, simply overthinking things. You know, this is the nightmare card. These are the thoughts that keep you up at night and create anxiety and worry. Now, like I said, it's like your instincts are kicking in here. If you're thinking negatively about a situation, you know, maybe it's time to start paying attention to that and looking at, well, why? Why am I thinking this way? All right. Now, in the past, the Two of Pentacles. So, you know, again, right, needing to be careful about the decisions that you're making, especially if you feel like, you know, you've got too many things going on and you're trying to keep everything up in the air. You know, some of you may have a lot of anxiety about, you know, what's going to happen next or, you know, what you may be going through. Because with this kind of energy as the past coming through, you know, it can suggest that you have a lot going on. You know, but decisions, the twos, you know, and being careful about the choice that you make here. Gemini, this bothers me. You know, normally Gemini, you guys are like so full of energy. You're so open to learning so many different things and you love to communicate about it. But having this kind of thinking, like I worry about it really dragging you down. Now, yeah, okay. So in the present, the Nine of Wands, you know, clearly here you've been put through a lot, you know, and being on the defense. There's also persistence here, right? Still having some fight left in you. But I think that there may be, you know, a situation going on where you have your guard up, but I worry that you may let it down. And that may be where this negative thinking is coming through, you know. That, or you may be like overly worried about having to go through another battle, but it not really happening. But that's only because you've been through a lot already with the Nine of Wands. You know, but the other thing that comes up here for me is needing to protect, you know, what is important to you and not wanting to give up on that, you know. But again, it's because of the thinking that's going on that, you know, I worry about what you're like preparing for. That, or like I said, for some of you dropping your guard and then, you know, regretting it later here and then worrying about what's going to happen. Wow, Gemini. Okay. Now, in future conditions, the Queen of Swords, I like it in terms of your energy here and being really direct and straight to the point and not taking any crap, which is great. But I still worry about you overthinking a situation here and becoming harsh. Now, for some of you, possibly dealing with another air sign. But again, with the energy of the Queen of Wands, you know, it's being really like cold and direct. You know, she has a tendency to get a little bit brutal. But again, it's all because of the thoughts that are going on right now. Your best path to follow, the Knight of Pentacles. Slow down. Slow down here. Stick to, you know, whatever plans you have set for yourself. You know, if you feel like there's a lot going on here, the Knight of Pentacles, right, especially with all this thinking that's going on, it's like just however long it takes, slow and steady wins the race, right? I don't think that This is a situation that is going to be like dragging ass, so to speak, which, normally comes up with the Knight of Pentacles. But I will say that you shouldn't procrastinate, though, either. You shouldn't let those thoughts get such a hold on you that, you're not willing to move forward. But whatever you have planned for yourself right now, work at it at your own pace. But don't get in a rush, or don't, completely stop because of this thinking that's going on. But I still wonder what it is that got you, getting this way and thinking this way right now. Because it's not normal. It's not normal for Gemini. In your environment, the Three of Pentacles. So it may be worries about work and finances too. Again, with the Pentacle energy being here. But, I'm hoping that here in future conditions with the Queen of Swords, like you're cutting through this kind of thinking and getting back to clarity. But, considering what you've been through, I can understand it being the Queen of Swords and not the King. Now, with the Three of Pentacles in your environment, maybe dealing with some difficulties at work, possibly somebody that you're working with. Now, normally the Three of Pentacles is a fantastic thing. You have a skill and a talent, and you're working on it and you're showing it off. People may be recognizing you for this, or you may be collaborating with other people here. But really, it's about working together. But like I said, this could be a work situation being in your environment, and there's something about it that's got you on the defense. Now, and like I said, as far as like money management with the Two of Pentacles coming through, I would just be careful about what choices you make. Like, I don't think that, this is something that you should quit on. It may take a little while to get to where you need to be, but, there's no reason to have like anxiety about things. Like, I really do think that you may be overthinking things a little bit. And I worry, again, with the Oracle cards, that there may be a decision that's made that might be a mistake, and you needing to trust your instincts, especially if you know that you may be overthinking a situation. But then again, like I said, you could be dealing with the difficulties at work. Now, your hopes and your fears, the Six of Wands. So yeah, if we're talking about, a situation at work or working with people here, the Six of Wands is you hoping to get the recognition that you deserve. Because, again, it shows up with the Three of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, being recognized for the work that you do because you have a skill, you have a talent. And then I worry that maybe some of you are not feeling like you're getting it right now. The Six of Wands is victory over adversity, but it is getting that recognition for a job well done. And again, because of the Nine of Swords being here, it's like worrying that you're not being recognized for those skills and talents, which I can understand. But again, you don't want to make any kind of decisions based on, anxiety. All right. And then the outcome, Temperance, yes, needing to kind of temper yourself and your thoughts right now, and it makes sense, and needing to just be patient. But again, I still feel like you've been through a situation here that was really difficult. Otherwise, we wouldn't be looking at the Nine of Wands. You wouldn't be on the defense. You're still, carrying this persistence and wanting to continue to work. I don't think that that's the issue. But there may be worry as far as what is going to happen with work. Worry about, things that may be being said to you from other people that you're working with. It just depends here. But like I said, with Temperance coming out, it's just like, okay, just, simmer down. Don't let your thoughts get so out of control. Because, again, I go back to the Oracle cards, and I think, if you let your thoughts get that far ahead of you and you make a decision, it may be like a big mistake. But again, with instinct coming through, I think that you're being guided. And again, you have Temperance, and that is guidance. And guidance from your angels. Right. And then the Knight of Wands, which is good to see. It's good to see. So I do think that things clear up here. I think right now things may be a little bit confusing, especially with the Nine of Swords. And with the Moon here, when we're talking about, and I've discussed this before, when we're talking about the illumination cards, the reason why this represents the subconscious mind is because the moon reflects the light of the sun. So it is about that inner reflection. You may be projecting fears and anxieties onto a situation here that may not be real. It's a time of confusion where you should not be making decisions here, right? Things are not what they appear to be. And then the other thing too is if we're talking about self-reflection, needing to be careful about seeing yourself in a distorted way, right? But with the Ten of Pentacles, I think that things get a little bit more grounded here. I think that you start to see some financial stability and security. And I think that this is what you're working toward here. But with the Knight of Wands coming out, what I feel like with this is that, once we hit that feeling of temperance and there's a little bit more control, I think with the Knight of Wands, it's going to be you finding that passion again for what you're doing and going after it, which is good. Just be careful, Gemini, about making a quick decision right now. I don't think it's the best thing to do. And whatever is being said to you, do not let it play such havoc on your mind, but again, that could be just for some of you here. But let's take a look at the soul trees and see what other messages there are for you guys. I'm hoping that, with the truth here, there will be a renewal and it will get you unstuck. We need to put a UN in front of this because you don't want to be stuck with this kind of thinking. The truth. My mother always told me that the truth will set you free. But I think for some of you, it's hard to kind of see the truth of a situation right now because of your thoughts being all over the place. But there will be a renewal here. And again, I feel like that with the Knight of Wands, where you may be getting unstuck. Where you once were, now it's all about getting out of that. Wow, Gemini. All right, we're going to take a look at Whispers of Love and see what other messages there are for you guys. And then consider your foundation. You're being asked to look at how committed you are to love. So now as far as relationship goes, when I see consider your foundation, it could suggest that maybe some of you aren't really ready to commit to something. But even if you're not right now, it doesn't mean that you don't love, the people that are around you or the person that you're with. So it's important to say, I love you, regardless of what you're going through right now. But, I feel hopeful. I do. I feel hopeful. I feel like, with the Queen of Swords, there may be a little bit of, some bitterness there. But I think that you get to a spot here where you're sharp. You see things clearly. You're able to cut through this kind of thinking. And you get to a place where there is like restored passion for what you are doing. All right, Gemini, so I do think that you need to be careful about making any decisions right now because I think that your instincts are telling you that if you do, it may be a mistake. And like I said, I don't think that you're intentionally trying to make a mistake, but something's got your thoughts all over the place. Anxiety, worrying about what's going to happen here. And like I said, for some of you, I think that it may be, a situation at work. Possibly for some of you. Maybe having some difficulty at work, worrying about what's going to happen as far as work goes. But clearly here, like I said, with the Three of Pentacles, right, you have a talent and a skill. And I do think that some of you, maybe having some anxiety about whether or not you're actually being recognized for what you can do. But, I just think that this is a situation where your thoughts are getting away from you. Now, and the reason why I think that this has to do with the work that you're doing is because of the Nine of Wands. I mean, you're not giving up, which is great. I worry, though, that your thoughts may push you to that point, but then also I worry about you being on the defense here, and it could be possibly because of something being said to you. It just depends here, but like in the present moment, it's like, you know what, I'm not giving up here, but there's still a lot of anxiety about what's going on. And clearly, you come into this like, juggling everything, needing to balance everything out here, keeping everything up in the air, and then, possibly having anxiety about that. But, again, with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like don't give up. Slow and steady wins the race, but don't procrastinate and don't be in a rush though either. It's like just stick to the plans that you have laid out. Because I do think that you're doing the right thing here. I just think that, the thoughts. And again, it's like you get to a place here where there is clarity. With the Queen of Swords, yeah, you might be a little bit harsh because of what you've been through, but so be it. But Temperance is saying that, it's really about you tempering those thoughts down. Now, again, with the Moon, now is not the time to be making any decisions because you may be projecting illusions onto the situation and anxieties that aren't real. But again, you wouldn't be doing this, though, had you not been put through something difficult. And I think that that's what the Nine of Wands is trying to point out here. But again, the Ten of Pentacles, and that's what you're getting to, which is great, as long as you're patient here and you keep doing what you're doing. And then again, I feel like there's a renewed passion because you have a talent, you have a skill, obviously, here. Now, the truth, seeing the truth in the situation here, which will cause a renewal and hopefully get you unstuck so that you're not stuck with this kind of thinking anymore. Now, as far as relationships go, with Consider Your Foundation, it always makes me question on whether or not somebody is really committed. And that's okay. I mean, it doesn't mean that, you don't love the person any less, but it's important to say I love you, especially if you're not ready just yet to commit. And I love you is important to say anyway. I think it's one of those things that people take for granted. It's so important to live from a place of love, right? I mean, you can disagree with a person. You can disagree with the way that they're doing things. You may not like the way that they think. But, again, we're all connected. So what is the point in hating, So I love you, needing to say I love you. And again, especially if you're not fully committed. And like I said, that's okay. But Gemini, just be careful. Be careful this week about feeling like you need to make a decision. I don't think now is the time. I think that if you pay attention to that guidance, it's going to prevent you from making a mistake.